In today's world where social media rewards constant updates and celebrity culture thrives on personal exposure, oversharing has become almost normalized and sometimes even encouraged. But let's be honest, just because something is common does not mean it is healthy. In fact, oversharing is not at all normal. It is actually a sign of low self-trust and lack of clarity in life. When you constantly share things with others, especially prematurely or excessively, it is often a reflection of internal confusion. When you feel the urge to tell people everything, your dreams, your struggles, your next move, what you're actually looking for is validation. But more often than not, what you get in return is disappointment. Hi, my name is Tanvi, and in this video, I'm going to talk about why you feel the need to overshare, the hidden dangers of oversharing, tools and strategies to help you stop oversharing, and most importantly, 5 powerful pillars of life that are best kept private. Oversharing often happens when you place a silent demand on others to validate your experiences, your emotions, and your perspective. You might not realize it, but underneath the urge to spill everything is a desire to feel seen, understood, and accepted. It's not always about attention, but sometimes it is about reassurance. You want someone to tell you, yes, you're allowed to feel this way. But here's the truth. When you consistently rely on others to give that reassurance, you give away your power. Social media also intensifies this tendency. You see people sharing their every win, their every experience, and you start to feel maybe you should too. There's this unspoken pressure that an experience is not worthy if it is not posted. A celebration does not count unless it's shared. And a vacation is not fun unless people know that you are on it. And while that might sound harmless, it actually blurs the line between healthy sharing and compulsive oversharing. There's also this cultural conditioning that says everything is better when shared. It sounds sweet, but it's often misleading because not everything is better when shared. Some things are better when kept private and held until they have matured enough to exist without public approval. Another big reason why people overshare is their desire to fast-track intimacy. But in reality, this only creates pseudo-intimacy. You might think that if you open up quickly, share your stories and your vulnerabilities, the other person will do the same. And that way, you'll be able to build genuine connection. But that's not how genuine connection works. What starts as an attempt to bond can quickly turn into a situation where you are judged, misunderstood, or even gossiped about. True emotional intimacy is built gradually through trust, respect, and mutual connection, and not through instant information dumps. True connections don't come from how much you say, but how safe it feels to be around people, even in silence. The truth is, emotionally healthy people are never drawn to chaos. They are not curious about every detail of your struggles. And it is not because they do not care, but it is because they respect your boundaries and understand that emotional safety takes time to build. So stop oversharing in the hopes of creating genuine connection. Genuineness does not require full exposure. In fact, real connections are built through emotional pacing, mutual respect, and boundaries, not oversharing. Being authentic does not mean being an open book. In fact, it simply means knowing which pages to share and which ones are just for you. Oversharing might feel like connection in the moment, but in the wrong hands, it can quickly turn into self-sabotage. When you overshare, especially from a place of insecurity, people may unconsciously create an identity for you based on your struggles and not your potential. They may start to see you through your vulnerabilities, and in doing so, they may position themselves above you. Not because they are bad people, but because it gives them a false sense of being more sorted or more together than you. It becomes a way for them to feel better about their own lives, and the real danger shows up later. When you begin to level up in the areas of life once you struggled with, it's often the people you have overshared the most with is the one who is going to feel the most threatened because they are not used to seeing the empowered version of you. And also, it disrupts the identity that they had created for you in their own minds, an identity built from the very same stories you once shared in the hopes of receiving validation, reassurance, and building true connection. That's the real danger of emotional overexposure. The more you reveal about your life situations, the more risk there is that someone might use it against you or define you by it. But that does not mean that you should never be vulnerable. Vulnerability is powerful if it is intentional and protected. Be vulnerable with people who have proven that they can hold your truth without weaponizing it. Share with those who listen to understand and not to compare or compete. Not everyone deserves access to every detail of your life. And how much you choose to share says less about how open you are and more about how healthy your boundaries are. There's no better tool and no deeper strategy than self-awareness when it comes to breaking the habit of oversharing. Before you speak to satisfy that momentary urge to share, pause and slow down. And ask yourself a few honest questions that act like emotional checkpoints. Am I sharing this to find clarity or to seek validation? Is this person emotionally safe or trustworthy? Am I trying to prove something about who I am or what I have been through? Do I know how this person handles personal information? Do I overshare because I fear being misunderstood if I don't explain everything? Is this something that belongs in a private journal instead? Am I trying to bond over wounds rather than values? Is this something I would feel comfortable hearing if the roles were reversed? These questions don't require perfect answers. They just require honest ones. The goal is not to silence yourself but to protect your information from being placed in the wrong hands. These questions create a pause, and in that pause you take back control of your narrative. When you learn to witness your urge without obeying it, you begin to build emotional integrity. Oversharing is not about being too honest, but it is about not feeling safe enough within yourself. So you outsource your emotions in the hope that someone else will manage it for you. The more you grow in self-trust, the less you feel the need to over-explain or overshare to feel seen. Once your vulnerabilities begin to empower you, know that there's no chance of sabotaging your growth and your progress. Because either you have resolved your issues on your own or shared them with highly trustworthy ones who offered you guidance without holding any judgment. Some parts of your life don't need to be hidden out of fear, but they need to be protected out of self-respect. Keeping certain things private is not secrecy, it is discernment. Here are 5 pillars that are worth keeping private. Your dreams are still in their growing phase. If you share them with people, those who have no capacity to understand them, then they might unknowingly plant seeds of doubts in you, especially if you are expecting them to believe in you, validate you, or cheer for you, and they don't. Our relationships with those in our close circles are never perfect, and they are never meant to be. Sharing the perfections or the imperfections of those relationships can take away the space to fully accept and embrace them as they are. I'll share a personal encounter regarding one experience I had in the past. Years ago, I had fallout with a friend and shared it with my family members. Even if I had completely moved on and forgotten about it, my family members could not. They still carried some resentment toward that friend solely based on the information that I had given them during that time. That's when I realized that once you let someone into a moment of conflict, they might hold on to that version of the story much longer than you do, and that can unintentionally shape their perception of someone you have already forgiven and moved on from. Your financial situation is personal. Whether you're thriving or struggling, it reduces the external pressure of comparison and competition. Your relationship with money should be based on your values and not somebody else's metrics of success. What people confide in you is never a storytelling material. Keeping others' stories safe shows emotional integrity. When you protect what's not yours to share, you don't just prove to them, but also to yourself that you are trustworthy. Your health is your wealth. If you're going through any health issue, whether it is physical, mental, or emotional, keeping it private can support faster recovery. It allows you to focus solely on your recovery without falling into the trap of victimizing yourself or managing other people's reactions. This way, the important pillars of life belongs to you. And that means your life circumstances are under control because you hold the autonomy over your own path. Maintaining a private life is also a form of self-care because you do not leak your energy by becoming someone who is constantly open to debate or judgment. You get to fully own your narrative. Saying less than necessary is a powerful form of self-discipline and also a quiet declaration of the trust that you have in yourself. Privacy also creates a room for intentional living. When you're not performing your life for others, you're free to align your decisions with your values and not what looks good to the outside world. It gives you space to grow in silence without the pressure of external expectations or timelines. Because not everything needs to be seen to be real. Some of the most meaningful transformations happen quietly. And above all, privacy safeguards your peace. Because when fewer people know your every step, fewer opinions follow you around. That's how you can build a life that feels grounded and not reactive. And with this, I wrap up today's video. Thanks for watching and take care.